Hi there, counting sheep here, and I don't know if this is going to work tonight, but I'm going to play with my Buddha board, and I'm going to be doing it kind of upside down so that I can get it in the camera here where there's light. So it may not work, but we'll give it a try. And I thought I would do my friend chat too and just kind of play with the screen and just do shapes or whatever I feel like, I guess, and just talk to you about what's been going on in my world and give you an update. And first, while I do my Buddha board, maybe you can give me an update on what's been going on with you, because I haven't been able to talk to you for a long time, and I'd love to hear how you're doing. So while I just draw here on the Buddha board some shapes and squiggles, go ahead and tell me what's been going on with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Keep going. Tell me a little bit more, and then I'm happy to tell you about what's been going on with me. Yeah. Okay. I really appreciate you sharing, because it's been a long time since we've been able to talk, and I like it when you tell me what's going on in your world. I really appreciate it. And I know that it's nice to be able to share sometimes. I certainly like being able to do that now and again. So I think I told you in the last video that I made, which I believe was, well, the last one I did would have been the eggs, but the before that was my miniature paintings. I talked about how I was in a show, and I was in August Osage County, and it was such an incredible experience. And it was a character that was a really good challenge for me, and I felt like I found some nice physical things for the character that were different than me, which I loved, and which were, I don't know, it was just a character I haven't been able to play with for a long time. She was a little more positive. Positive, I don't know if that's the word, but she's the more, optimistic one in the family. It's a pretty dark comedy, and the movie didn't have a lot of comedy going on at all, but the play, even more than we all expected, had quite a bit of comedy. There was a lot of laughter and release of tension through laughter, and I like a play that has some contrast that way. When it's too heavy all the time, all the way through, I find I start checking out because it's just too much. And this one had a lot, but it had a lot of humor in there mixed in, so it's more palatable. But anyway, so I got to do that, and that was just really a gift. And then my sisters came to visit me, and that was kind of a dream for me to have them come visit me out here, because I miss them a lot. And I've been wanting them to come visit for a long time, and it worked out that they got to come and visit. And then we had a really unfortunate family tragedy, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it just kind of took me out for a while, and so I just can't make these kinds of videos unless I'm feeling really balanced and in a good space. So I kind of had to wait until I could find my bearings a little bit again. So anyway, thanks for your support. There have been a lot of people who've been supportive and check in from time to time and ask how I'm doing and all of that, and it's very sweet, and I appreciate that. And I've had some who supported me through PayPal. Luis has been kind of a constant supporter, and I hope I'm saying your name right. It might be that it's Louis and that I'm pronouncing it wrong. And Megan, and I've also had a dear friend, Susan, who has become a very good friend of mine, who I became friends with through this channel. So I'm really grateful for ASMR for just so many reasons, and the community that seems to gather through it. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for the little community that we have here on this station, on this channel. You guys are just a lovely bunch, and I feel very lucky to be a part of it. All right, I'm going to kind of play with this here. I was watching the other night it was a TED Talk. It was on YouTube, but it was a TED Talk about a woman who, some of you may have seen it, who studies symbols in caves, paintings and drawings in caves. And at this point, she's narrowed it down to something, I want to say it was 35 or 36 universal symbols. Oh, it was fascinating. And she's, I can't remember how many caves she's been in. She spent hundreds of days in caves, hundreds of hours in caves with her husband. And sometimes it gets so tight. I get claustrophobic just when they talk about it, but sometimes it's so tight when they're climbing in that they can't even get the camera on the angle of the painting. And she was saying, what is it that drove people to climb into these dark spaces, with probably some kind of a light source of fire, and to paint and tell a story somewhere on a wall. And some of them are, fairly detailed and advanced, and some of them are more primitive looking. But there are 36 symbols that appear. A hand is one of them that appear all, over thousands, I want to say 30,000 years or something. And these symbols existed before any written language symbols existed, but they're finding that the written languages, I'm going to try using my left hand just for fun for a second. They're finding that the written languages show, roots in these symbols, which isn't necessarily a huge surprise, but I find it fascinating. If I remember, I'll maybe put a link to that TED Talk below, because it was just fascinating, and it's not terribly long. It's funny how, one of the comments I get a lot, and I totally understand it, is that, oh, I wish you'd make your videos longer. And I wish I'd make my videos longer too, but I just don't seem to be good at that. And also, it's kind of interesting because I'm going to get some lines going. It's kind of interesting because, what was I thinking about? Not sure I can remember. I think I'm getting into a meditative state here a little bit with this. let's see, it was something about the symbols, wasn't it? And the woman telling the story. I don't remember. I did like the idea, though, that, it is fascinating what drove people to paint, and that these symbols exist in different continents and totally different times, that there are these recurring symbols that seem to, have an understood, recognized meaning over thousands of years. I find that very interesting. That would have been smart for me to get the symbols and play with them on here. Maybe I'll do that sometime. Didn't even think about that. All right. What else can I tell you about? I'm trying to think of some other things that have been happening here. I've got a friend visiting from Alaska, and that's kind of a fun thing because he's got cancer, multiple myeloma, and he comes in every 3 months for treatment to Seattle. And he's someone that I haven't been in touch with for 25, 30 years. And we've gotten to be really dear friends again, and even more than we ever were. And it's been kind of cool to think that, if it weren't for his cancer, we would have never had the opportunity to connect again. And I've made another really close friend here because of that friendship, because I met this person through him. And so now I have, these two connections. And it's kind of sweet that there has been something beautiful. We were talking about that this weekend because he was visiting. There's been something really sweet that's come about because of his cancer. If it weren't for the cancer, we would not have connected. So it's interesting. I feel like I need to make some of these bigger because it's kind of hard to read from the camera from that distance, isn't it? The big sweeps are a little easier to read. Aren't I just quite the artist? Maybe I should try doing more landscapey things. That's something I have a little familiarity with drawing anyway. I don't think I've got a gift for geometric shapes. So this weekend, what did we do? We went to visit some of his friends in Bellingham. There were 3 of us, his friend that I've become close friends with, and he and I all went, so there were 3 of us. We went and visited some of his other friends and went to lunch, and then on the way home we drove through these tulip fields. And I've never been to a big, they're commercial tulip fields, and in a place called La Conner, Washington. So those of you who are from around here will know what that is. And switching hands again, so it may become, got on my pajamas tonight, as you can see. Hey, look, this video's longer. So anyway, it was really fun. And then on the way home, we went to a casino, and that's kind of our fun little thing that we do together. And I just did $10 on the slot machines. I'm not big spender, and if I get lucky, great, and if I don't, I'm not gonna drop a lot more. But they both won $100 each, just over $100 that evening, so they were really excited and in good moods. And hey, they treated me to dinner, so I got something out of it too. It was pretty great. It was just kind of a fun evening, and we came back and just all talked and laughed and shared stories, and it was a great evening. I'm not sure what I'm drawing. I'm sure my subconscious must be coming through here, and that's a little disturbing, isn't it? All right, I'll just draw a little bit more, paint a little bit more with water here. And then I'll say good night, and I'll let you get some sleep. And I hope you do get some rest. And I'll try to get maybe a hypnosis video out next. I haven't made one. I might even do that tonight if I have the energy and just load it up another night. We'll see. But I sure hope you're doing well. And there's a lot of craziness going on in the planet right now. At least I feel that way. So remember to be the one who loves and who spreads love if you want to. It's important to me. It's easy for me to get caught up and frustrated and angry, and anger breeds anger. So if you can choose to do something kind, I think that's a nice thing. Do something kind for someone. Pay for somebody's fast food meal that comes behind you. I once had somebody pay, just a random stranger. My son and I were out to dinner, and we went up to pay for our dinner. Oops. And the gal at the cashier up the front said, "Oh, this person at this table already paid for your meal." And I thought how remarkable that was. And it just makes you feel amazing, and it makes you want to do nice things for people. The whole pay it forward idea. It's just lovely. So spread love, not hate. Choose to be brave in an act of love and kindness. Maybe that'd be fun in the little comments below. If there's something that somebody did for you, some act of kindness someone did for you that really made you feel great, made a difference to you one day or in your life, something simple maybe. If you can remember any simple time of when somebody did something sweet for you, maybe write about it, leave it in the comments. It's always fun to read those, and maybe it'll give somebody an idea of something nice that they can do for someone else. Why not? All right, those are my slightly disturbing drawings. I have no idea what's happening in my subconscious here, but I hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me.